on your hometown radio station, WMMG. The phone-in talk show where you're given the opportunity to express your opinion on local and national topics of concern. This is your chance to get your word in edgewise.
Any views or opinions expressed on this show by guests, phone callers, or the host of the show are strictly those views and opinions of the guests, phone callers, and the host of the show, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of this radio station, its employees, or sponsors of the show.
through the night.
2 minutes past 11. Good morning. Welcome into Edgewise. We've been telling you about this particular Edgewise, and don't worry, we're going to play the whole song at the end of the show, just like we always do. Using it right now for a little bumper music to get into it. Talking about bullying today, and with an anti-bullying campaign, we have a father and his daughter, Emma and Carlos Sanchez. Welcome to the show, folks.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi guys. She's already in there, isn't she? She'll have this job in an hour. Wait and see. We're happy that you're here, and it makes me very excited when I see people that are facing adversity and tough situations take that and turn it into something positive, not only for themselves, and it could stop there. You can reach and close that door if you want to. That could save us from a little noise. Not only for themselves, to get through it and to get past it and to go on and live life. But when you have what it takes to take that and turn it into a message, turn it into, in your case, music, and you go around and you're going as many places as you can through musical shows or presentations in schools or what have you, and you're sharing your music and you're telling your story to try to let folks know maybe that have been a victim of bullying that, hey, you don't have to wallow in it. You don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
I guess we start by, where are you guys from?
We are from Shepherdsville, Kentucky.
Okay.
We were born and raised. I was born and raised there, but...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm originally from Atlanta, but lived about 15 years here in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Got a lovely little family here.
Hot Atlanta.
Yeah, hot Atlanta.
How you get from Hot Atlanta to Shepherdsville?
I don't know. Just thought I wanted somewhere to relax and settle down,
A lot of places are quieter and more relaxed than Atlanta. I've played music for a bunch of years, never played there, but been through there and kind of stayed there a lot on the way, here and there. Love the town, but I'm a country boy, man. I like it. And these guys, they were telling me about the place they live in. You're virtually surrounded by water almost, right?
Oh, yeah. We have a 33.5-acre lake in our backyard and river property in our front yard. It's amazing. It's quiet.
Very quiet.
And in the rainy season, is it scary, or are you guys good?
Well, we've got boats. If we start to flood, we'll just hop in a boat and maybe float away.
Head on. Yeah. Okay. Take a fishing pole with you. You won't go hungry. It'll be good.
Yeah.
But I understand some of your family members will turn virtually anything into a raft.
Yes, they will. Even a freezer door.
Even a freezer door. Carlos was telling me about the lake and the river and everything. Said, yeah, somebody threw, and don't do this. Don't throw stuff in water. You can call people for that. But they found a freezer door floating, and Emma turned it into a raft. She's going to be on the TV show. She'll be on Survivor or something. You know, go, I know that girl. I knew that girl when she was floating on a raft. Look at her. Look at her now. So we'll go back in time, Emmett. That's a Whaler test. Hang on. Every Wednesday when the mics are open. I don't know why they can't do it when I'm on break. Anyway, we're good. So let's go back and tell us your story. You're going to school. What grade are you in now?
I'm in 8th grade.
8th grade? Okay.
I'm getting ready to graduate and going to high school.
Okay, big girl. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember those days. Oh, we're growing up. Oh, God. So anyway, tell us about your experience.
I've never really had an experience with bullying, but I've seen some of my friends getting bullied. My dad even told me when he was getting bullied in school, and I've seen it becoming like a big issue, especially in our community. It's a big issue, and I wrote an essay. That's what the song is based off of. I wrote an essay about it, and I just like formed the song from the essay I wrote.
Okay, so you're going to class every day and whatever extra activities that you guys have, and you're seeing this go on, and you feel like you need to do something about it.
A lot of our inspiration come from especially that in schools and just seeing it day to day, social media. But my son, he also he gets bullied quite often because he has a brain injury, and he's a little different from other kids, and they
pick on him, judge him because of the way his head looks.
Okay.
Especially when the scars show.
And unfortunately, we do that. And I was telling them growing up, and those of you that have seen me and have known me all my life, yours, or on out doing remotes and what have you, the glasses are thick. So I'm 4 eyes. You know, I was 4 eyes in school, and not good at sports. You know, not good at catching the ball, not good at hitting the ball. So yeah, been there, done that. But you just, you know, it hurts your feelings, but you move on. But sometimes, and we are, as a people and as a society, unfortunately, and we try our best not to do it sometimes. At a glance, we form an opinion, we make judgments about each other that aren't necessarily true and don't even necessarily need to be part of the equation at all.
Exactly.
You know, the brain injury doesn't make. And what's your son's name?
His name's Carlos too. He's with
Carlos.
CJ.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me this. So you're Carlos and he's CJ. That way, when somebody gets in trouble, you guys know. You guys know who mom's hollering at or whatever. But I mean, he's no less of a brother. He's no less of a son, right?
Yeah, he's a great kid. I mean, a lot of people love him. I mean, he has no filter, and that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Right.
But
I used to not have one, and then I started working here and had to kind of get one. You know.
We learned to develop a filter.
Yeah, yes, we do. It's either that or you're standing on the street with a cardboard sign. We'll talk and play music for food. You know, one of those things. So you decide to do something about it. You write the essay. How did the essay do?
I actually didn't win.
Okay.
It was originally for Red Ribbon Week, and Red Ribbon Week is about drugs, and I gave it to my creative writing teacher, and she said that it didn't fit with the topic that we were writing about.
Okay.
So I went back and I changed everything, and it still didn't win, but that's how I wrote it.
But, you know, and looking back, you know, maybe, and you didn't necessarily get out of it what you wanted to get out of it, but it sounds to me like you got something out of it that you didn't expect to get out of it.
It turned into something that I never imagined it would turn into. Mm-hmm. Most importantly, what I gave it to my dad. Well, I gave the song to my dad, and we started working on it. I didn't think it would get anywhere as soon as we went to the cafe, but we'd just sing it, and
That would be it.
You're just singing, okay, yeah, we've done it, so we'll move on to whatever. But not so much. Didn't turn out that way.
Well, that night, after we sung it, and we owe a great bit of gratitude to Owen Heritage. He is
Our producer?
our producer, and he's the one that put the music behind it.
Okay.
And he offered to produce it that night. He says, that's such a beautiful song. I'd like to produce that song. And we, like I said, we never expected to make it this far. We never expected that night to go the way it did and to blow up like it did now.
I was in awe that night. It was like the best night ever.
And it had to be one of those Oscar moments. They like me. They really like me. And in all seriousness,
That's really how it was. Even still to this day now. I mean, for you guys bringing this on the radio, I mean, we were in tears this morning on our way here.
I do that a lot on about 5 o'clock on the way to work, but I'm not fully awake yet. But it's and that's one of the things I love about this job is we're privately owned, and I don't have people in New York telling me what people in Kentucky and Meade County like to hear. They tell me. They have no problem telling me if something works or something's not working. So you listen to the audience. So obviously, not only by Owen Heritage, but by the audience that night, you were pretty well received, I guess. Got a lot of compliments. And
yeah, it hit a lot of people to heart really hard.
And it does. And you don't necessarily have to have gone through something to be good at helping people deal with it. And it's nice to get exposure, and it's kind of nice to get coverage. But at the end of the day, you want folks to hear your message, and you want folks to be helped by what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have never made it this far if it wasn't for a friend of ours. His name is Barry Netherton. He told us, he said, hey, man, check it out. They got a homegrown show at the cafe. Go sing your song. And we went and sung our song with no music or anything at all.
Okay, so you had no tracks, no guitar, no
nothing.
You're just
It was just
pure
us
acapella.
singing.
pure, just straight up a cappella.
And just we went and sung it there, and everybody fell in love with it that night.
Man, that says a whole lot, because a lot of times the band track can bring a certain dynamic to the song. Even the Eagles used a couple of guitars on Seven Bridges Road.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, boy, that says a lot. So how long did it take you guys to go from the cafe to actually going in the studio with Owen?
We went into the cafe, in the beginning of this year, February?
Around February.
Yeah. And
We were in the studio by March.
yeah, so yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah, that happened quick. So did you already? But obviously you already had the melody line and everything. Did you have the chord structure down? And
Nothing like that.
This is just the tech head and music guy and me going, how'd you put this together? So Owen kind of built.
He built. Well, we just
He used our voices from the video,
from the
song.
that we sung at the cafe. He used those lyrics and the way we sung it, and he made the melody, and he's like, this is what I got, do you like it?
Okay.
And we worked on it for quite a bit until we got it to where we wanted it, and he's like, okay, let's go to the studio and record it.
Okay, so it got it. He's a good producer because he got it to where you're happy with it. In Nashville, a lot of times they'll take what you got and they'll tell you how they want you to do it so that it fits a cookie cutter thing, but he heard the originality and he worked with that.
Yeah, he's amazing at what he can do.
The best person you can be is who you are. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they don't like who you are, they ain't gonna like who you're trying to be. Words of wisdom from Dale Earnhardt, actually, to Dale Earnhardt Jr. And I have some other words of wisdom, and that is, I got to take a break and take care of a bill or two. You guys hanging around for the whole hour? We'll hear the song in its entirety and talk more with Emma and Carlos Sanchez. Take a phone call or two, won't you?
Sounds good.
Sure. Okay. They're nice folks. They'll be good to you. Call and talk to these folks if you like. Share your story. Share your call with your stories or your questions. A lot of folks have been through this and come out on the other side. Sadly, there are folks out there who have been through this and for whatever reason never found their way out. We're trying to keep that from happening. Give us a call if you like, 270-422-3961, 422-3962, 1-800-203-4175. Back after the break.
But tell 'em if I don't survive, I'll be
I met a gentle borrowed queen in a
19 minutes past. The name of the show is Edgewise. Carlos and Emma Sanchez on the show with us. I don't know why I struggle with those names. Emma and Carlos and Emma. Anyway, and they are father and daughter, and they've got music and a message about anti-bullying because it's talked about a lot. And what are some of the things that you've seen, Emma? And was there a specific situation that kind of inspired you to do the essay, which later developed into the song? Was it deeply personal because of your brother, or was there something happened at school, or just kind of a compilation of things?
Well, it has to do with my brother a little bit, but my friends have talked to me, and my friend got cyberbullied last year.
See, that's a whole new beautiful method of a way that we can mistreat each other. Is the internet can help you guys promote what you're doing, but we can get on the internet and we can just be mean and nasty and hateful to each other, and you don't even have to do it face to face. You know?
And my other friend, she told me back before she moved schools to where I was at, it was back in elementary school, she told me that she got bullied by somebody in another grade because of her weight.
Right.
And this year, I've seen a lot of it happen this year because people are doing it people are bullying each other just for attention.
Right.
And others,
Look what I can do.
I seen this kid, his name is Cody.
Let's go ahead and not maybe call somebody out on the air here. His name is Frank or whatever.
I don't really know his name.
The
Not
name.
sure.
Okay, there you go. That's excellent answer. Anyway, continue, my dear.
But I don't know, people were making fun of him just because of his voice.
It doesn't take a lot for us to call somebody out, unfortunately.
People are calling us out on our flaws, even though everybody has them.
Sure. Oh, show me somebody that doesn't, you know.
And we understand it's not entirely the bully's fault why they are bullying. I mean, it also goes to where they're raised, how they're raised, and the experiences or the problems that they have at home. It causes them to act out that way. I mean, it's not that we're mad at the bullies for what they're doing. I mean, we feel for you. You know, we're here. Talk to us. I mean, don't be that way anymore. I mean, we need to love one another, and we're all going to make it together if we work together.
Absolutely. I was talking to Dr. John Millay earlier today, the superintendent. We were talking about how it is a problem, but yet because of a lot of different things and news coverage and whatever, it's getting blown up. Not really, and this is, don't mean to trivialize it, but some ways it's getting blown up into more than it actually is, and it is somewhat of a learned behavior. You kind of live, or you kind of learn and do what you live. You know, so if young folks see this sort of thing happening in the home, then they therefore think it's okay because, you know, mom and dad aren't going to make mistakes. Mom and dad aren't going to really do anything wrong, or my older brothers and sisters, I mean, they're cool. They're not going to do. But it all kind of works together, and we kind of have to realize that the family unit is the most important thing. It don't matter what kind of clubs or what kind of anything we join, the thing I think that we are, I guarantee you that we are a member of right now, and is going to be the most important thing for the rest of our lives, is being in that family unit that we're in, regardless of the configuration of it. And Lord knows there's a bunch of different configurations. But that's where we learn and grow and thrive, and then we hopefully take the good stuff out of the home, but sometimes it ain't all good.
Yeah, there's all forms of bullying that are coming from different people, and it's sad that they got to go through it that way, and that they have to portray themselves that way when, in everyone else's eye and their own eye, they know they're not really like that. But like she said, there's some people just use it for attention. They just want to be noticed. They just want to be seen.
And they get attention. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of attention I think any of us truly want, but sometimes attention is attention.
That's what kind it is, yeah.
And it's like the class clown, and I grew up with several and probably was one, depending on who you talk to. But that's funny stuff, and nobody gets hurt.
Exactly. I'm still a clown to this day.
Well, yeah.
Fun with life.
You gotta have fun. You have to, or you should. You don't have to. Nobody hold a gun to your head, nothing. Yeah. But you should enjoy life and have fun with it, and find some things to laugh about and what have you. But unfortunately, there are some folks that just enjoy, and maybe they don't know any other way they just enjoy hurting somebody else, being mean to them, picking on them, whatever you want to call it. And we talked earlier in the broadcast, even on the phone, there's a difference between cutting up with somebody, picking on them, and actually bullying them. Just because somebody looks at you funny or may, call you a name one time, that doesn't necessarily qualify. But if it's consistent and mean and hateful behavior, then it's a pattern,
Yeah.
Don't you think it's a pattern that you see in the behavior of a lot of the bullies?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a pattern. You see it pretty much through each and every person that becomes a bully or who once was. You see the same pattern throughout all of them.
Right.
They're usually doing the same things that previous ones have done, or ones are watching to learn what they're doing to become the same way.
He did that, so I'll try that tomorrow. That looked cool, and that looked like fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes, and a lot of times, if we get picked on or bullied or whatever, and we'll use the correct term, bullied, a lot of times, thanks to family and friends and whatever we need to use or whatever we choose to use, we can get past it and get through it and get on with our lives. But sometimes it really gets the best of people, of kids, of young folks. And there's not really an age limit. Let's face it, adults bully adults,
And it happens a lot more frequently between adults. And these kids, they see it and they have to portray themselves the same way. Like I said, it all starts somewhere.
Right.
Someplace.
So the quicker you can get this message into the ears and minds and hearts of people, hopefully that behavior is going to change a lot quicker, because the longer we do something, the more of a habit it becomes, and the more we just kind of tend to fall back to that as a default behavior in whatever kind of situation.
That's why we're trying to catch these kids before everything gets out of hand, or before they start following footsteps of others and becoming bullies or thinking about becoming bullies. This is the times now for you to take a stand and love your friend, love that neighbor.
what would you what are some of the things, and I didn't really realize how close to the front end of what you guys are doing we were with this show, but we're kind of breaking some new ground for Emma and Carlos here, and I don't think I realized that. So it's an honor to be a part of this, because I think you have a strong message. Other than, hey, it doesn't have to be this way, let's act some other way. How can you actually get folks to change their behavior? What are some of your thoughts on how you would change me if you see me being mean on a consistent basis to, like, say, Emily?
Mainly is trying to talk with you first. You know, the first and foremost way is to talk with someone. Try to understand where they're coming from, why they're acting the way they are.
Right.
And then let them know, you know, life ain't always got to be this way.
Right.
I mean, you can make a change.
And I'm thinking, okay, that's fine, sir, but I don't mean anything by it. All I'm doing is just kind of picking at her, or picking at him, or whatever, and just kind of, all I'm doing is having fun with them. I didn't mean nothing by it, but a lot of times we don't realize what may not necessarily mean a lot to us might be terribly painful and hurtful to somebody else. Now, sometimes it's obvious that my intent as a bully is to hurt your feelings, or to make you cry, and to make you take your toys and go home, or what have you. But sometimes, maybe even on the front end of, you know, when a bully is just kind of breaking ground, maybe it's not meant to be hurtful, but it is.
Yeah. And so some people, they just don't realize and understand what they're doing.
Right.
To them, it's funny. It's like
They think they're doing it for fun.
Yeah, they think they're just picking at them, and then they think that the other person or the other party's going to laugh about it. But in our reality, that they're actually finding the flaws that the one person is actually conscious and insecure about.
Right, and they're just magnifying those. I think you and I kind of went down as Emma was talking, and I'm very good at this, a rabbit trail. You started to tell us about, you saw a friend of yours who shall remain nameless going through some stuff, and I don't think we got to how you handled that situation, or what that meant to you, and I apologize for Dad and I just kind of going our own way, but that's what I do. Anyway, continue with that. How did that play out?
Well, I talked to my teacher about the essay, because I asked her. I was like, I emailed her, actually. I didn't ask her. I said, I have an essay that I wrote last year. Do you think I could present it to the first period? And she said, yeah. And at that moment, we hadn't really done anything with our song yet. So I showed them the song. I showed them the original version on YouTube. And she was in tears, and she asked me after class, she's like, do you think you could present that to my third period, which is the creative writing class? And I was like, sure. And at that time, the time that we did that, our song was already finished, so we got to show it to the third period, and that's when he told me about the issues he had. So I told everybody, because everybody has their own stories of them being bullied. I said, if you ever need anything, you can come talk to me.
Okay.
I'm always going to be here for anybody that needs help. I'm not going to shut you out.
And that day when we performed it in her class, you never really see a kid come to you and open up the way they did that day. And they opened up widely. Pretty much the whole class opened up and said, you know, I've got this problem, I've got this problem, I've got this problem. The kid she was talking about, I mean, of course, he stood up and he's like, yeah, I've got these problems going on with me, you know, and I want it to stop too. And all these kids opened up and were like, you know, this is our story. And that really hit the heart. It made me feel good hearing these kids telling us their story.
Right.
And it made me feel great that they trusted us enough to open up to us and tell us what happened to them.
Right.
And
And
I never really expected it, actually.
it's kind of hard to, and some people maybe not so much as others, it's kind of hard when you start talking about this sort of thing to find somebody that you feel like you actually can trust and that you're willing to share this information with, because you're already in that situation. You're already getting bullied. And, okay, maybe I can talk to this person, but the thought's got to just, even though it might be briefly, enter your head. Oh gosh, what if I do this and they turn this around, turn this against me? But I think because of the performance of the song, that instilled trust in each and every one of the folks in the class there. Great story. We're going to come back and talk more. At the end of the show, we're going to hear the song in its entirety, like you did this morning and other days as well. Broken and Unfixed by Emma and Carlos Sanchez. Sometimes they call, sometimes they don't, but they always listen. And you guys are doing a great job. You have a great story, and you're going to hear, like I say, the music coming up here at the end of the show. Phone lines are open if you want to share a story or have a comment or a question for Miss Emma and Mr. Carlos. You can do that. 270-422-3961, 422-3962, 1-800-203-4175. Back after the break. Turn your mic on, idiot. Those darn technical issues, huh? News came to me yesterday that when you guys are in town, I need you guys to follow me to a secret location, because there is an anonymous donor who would like to, help you out with your cause in pushing and promoting what you do with a financial donation. So if you would be so kind as to follow me, that would be good. And when I say follow me, of course, I don't see well enough to drive, so you'll be actually following my wife. I'll be riding. The driver's license is not a good idea for me. Although, when I got my fishing license, it was the disability combo, or a disability license. I put, they didn't, and I'm legally blind, but I put down a checked blind because that was the only thing. So I don't know. About a month later, I got my fishing license, but it was a combination fishing and hunting license. I love the Commonwealth of Kentucky because it's not a good idea for me to drive, but yet if I decide to get liquored up and scamper through the woods and start blasting away at anything that moves, they're okay with that. They're good. That's fine. Let's go ahead, Steve. You're fine. But anyway, so you guys hope to get into schools with your music and your message.
That's the plan, yeah.
And like I said, I didn't realize we were on as close to the front end of your project as we are. And I tell you what, without people like Owen Heritage stepping up to the plate and go, I see something here, I hear something here that really could be developed into something cooler than what it already is. Hats off to those folks. And Barry...
Yeah, Barry Netherton.
Barry Netherton, who said, hey, they got an open mic thing down here where you can go do that. And we all need proving grounds and testing grounds for what we do, 20 years ago when I first sat down behind this mic, man, and I've always loved and kind of followed and studied radio. But boy, you talk about a train wreck. And some people, some of my listeners out there going, yeah, still is, Steve. It's still a train wreck. Did you ever think when you were kind of putting the song and singing the song that it would ever get at least this far?
No, we never did. Mm-hmm. We thought, because I've been in quite a few bands before, and they never really went anywhere.
Right.
And she thought, from the past experiences that I had with bands, that, Dad, we're just going to sing this at home in our bedroom, and, we're not going to go nowhere. Right. But, like I said, if it wasn't for Barry, it probably would have been that way. We wouldn't have went anywhere. We would have tried to promote something, but it would have never went nowhere.
Kind of, you look around after it happens, and you kind of point to yourself and go, me?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But but that's a good thing, because there is something here, and there is a message. Now, we've talked about the bullies, and we've talked about the pattern behavior, and that unfortunately, whether we want to admit it or not, a lot of this behavior, unbeknownst to us, I guess, there's a big word for you, as parents or guardians, sometimes many times the way that we treat each other in our home spills out, and it's just what we do. It's learned behavior. It's kind of like domestic violence. It becomes acceptable if you live that for X amount of times. It's just how people are. It's how people act. So I'm just going to act that way because it's okay here. So therefore, it's got to be okay here. We've talked about that. Now, the people on the other end of it, the people who get bullied. I shared the story with you about my daughter. Told you about Four Eyes. Poor little old me. What would you say, and what do you hope to accomplish with those who are getting bullied? We've talked about what you would do and say and how you've dealt with the bullies, but messages to folks who are going through that. And sometimes when you're going through it, depending on how severe it is, you feel like it's going to be that way for the rest of your life. They're going to pick on me about these glasses, or they're going to pick on me about my weight, or the fact that my face looks a little bit different, or that I'm tall, or that I'm short, or that whatever the thing is that people are targeting these individuals for. Let's talk about those folks a little bit more, because sometimes they feel like, even though we know that they're not, sometimes when you're going through that, you feel so alone, and like you're the only one in school, or the only one in church, or the only one in whatever group you're in, that you're getting picked on, and you don't see it happening to anybody else, so therefore it's only you. Why me? I'm so alone.
And there's no reason to be alone anymore. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I'm a heavy-set guy. I try to be funny about the way that I look and the way that I act, but, it's just to thy own self be true, be exactly who you are.
Yeah.
God made you that way. There's no reason for you to try to look like anybody else or anything like that. You are who you are. Be who you are. Because everyone's going to love you for exactly who you are. And that's why we say there's no reason to be sad or upset anymore. Our message is only a small message that we're trying to reach everyone with. But we're going to try to make it big. We want to make it big enough to where if you have a problem, or if you are going through something like this, doesn't matter if we're big or if we stay the same size that we are now with our music. You can always contact us. You can always have us to talk to. We will not be the type of people that's going to say, hey, we're too big, we can't talk to you now. No,
right.
We love everybody for who they are. Yeah, we're going to be there for you. This is for you. This is not for us. This is for you.
And it's such a great project, and the song has taken off in some circles, and we will, after our show here today, we're going to continue to play this. There's a Hunter Hayes song, this very powerful song called Invisible. And it just, the first time I heard that, I lost it.
I love this song.
Just like I did when I heard what you did, because I felt like I knew you guys from like the first little conversation that your dad and I had. And I know that you can kind of, when you live, girlie, when you live to be old enough, like me, you kind of hopefully are able to read folks pretty well. And I thought, man, these folks are shooting straight. They're honest. They're from the heart, and they really truly want to deliver this message. They're not about, gee, I hope we write something as a gold record and we can just hang out at the house and get the money out of the mailbox and the heck with everybody else. It's not about that at all. and hopefully this is going to have a groundswell to it. A lot of things hopefully are in store for you over the summer. Of course, school's out. But yet kids gather at different places. There are all kinds of groups and clubs and libraries and all this sort of thing.
As far as summer-wise, if all goes well, I mean, our funding isn't that great yet, but we're going to try to work on something. We're going to try to find some sponsors that can maybe help us out. But what we're going to try to do right before school,
we're going to have
a concert.
Back to school concert.
A back to school concert. We're going to try to invite a bunch of bands out there with us to play out with us and everything. And then hopefully...
Is that Avon? Is that Avon calling? Oh, okay. Because I was expecting makeup. I mean, I'm just saying. Check the message. Make sure we don't leave anything out.
There's doorbell ring.
I've done this for so long, and it's taken me forever to actually remember to put my phone on vibrate. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Appreciate the call. You're on Edgewise.
Oh, hi. This is actually Owen calling in, the Owen that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Hi, Owen.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Owen.
You needed someone, right?
So this is your guy.
This is our producer.
This is your guy. Okay. Good to meet you via phone. Just as a radio guy, but just as important as a longtime musician, man, thanks for stepping up and going to these guys and saying, you know what, you've got something here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I mean, that's really partly why I was there at that open mic. I was going as a representative of an organization called Kentuckiana Association of Musicians and Singers.
Okay.
But you probably not heard of because it's pretty new. But that's pretty much what we're about, is just finding people like Emma and Carlos and making things happen for them, you know, just giving people opportunities and drawing people together. So we were sponsoring that particular open mic as well. So, you know, I was happy to talk to them, and it was a privilege to do that for them. We had a blast as well. I mean,
anytime, in my experience, anytime you go in a studio with you know, good talent and a good idea, it's always fun. You know, even the throwaway tracks, it's always fun.
Oh yeah, the puppy barking.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think I told them, I don't think if I mentioned it to you guys, but actually I did have kind of a vested interest in this song because I went through bullying as well in high school. And this is now, I'm 48, so it's 30 years later, and I'm still dealing with it. I'm right now going through therapy, just seeing a psychologist and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's no laughing matter. So I really appreciate you guys doing something about it, you know, trying to address the issue and draw it to people's attention.
Okay, and you, just simply by throwing those few cards on the table, you are one of the folks, not you personally, but your situation, you can get through it, you know. Unfortunately, a lot of folks choose to check out. A lot of folks, because it is so severe, and it impacts them so hard, they feel like that suicide is the only way out. And unfortunately, we do lose lives to bullying, but you chose not to go down that road. You made it through it, and you're still dealing with it today, right?
Yeah, and I made it. I've got to say it was close. Like the time when I was 18, I crossed the main street in the town I was living in without even looking. I'm like, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care if something hits me. So, you know, I just crossed without looking either way. So stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was just something that was telling me, oh, come on, this has got to end sometime. There's going to be a time you're going to get through this, surely.
Can I be as close and personal to ask you what they were bullying you about? And let me say, if you choose not to share that, it's perfectly fine.
That's fine. I don't mind. It's partly due to racism, because as you can probably tell, I ain't from around here.
No, you ain't originally from here, are you? I'm thinking Indiana. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's part of Indiana that kind of borders England. You know,
yeah, okay, that part. Yeah. Got it.
No, I was a person obviously from England, but at the time I was living in Scotland, which you think, well, it's part of the same country. It's all part of the United Kingdom. They all speak the same language. But nonetheless, there was horrific racism in that place. it's a small community and a smallish island in Scotland.
Right.
And sometimes I think that happens in small communities. They kind of feel threatened by incomers, as they called them, outsiders. So I was getting a lot of problems being English, plus the fact that I was kind of very skinny and not good at sports and all the rest of that. And
Typical musician.
Yeah, exactly. And sensitive as well as you are. And there was stuff going on at home as well. I had an abusive stepdad, so, there was basically nowhere that I could turn to that there was someone called a friend. So it was so constant for 2 or 3 years. It's like you were saying, you just kind of start to believe it.
And you hear something long enough, you kind of tend to give into it,
We love you for who you are, Owen. We do.
I mean, absolutely. There's no reason for that, but thank God you made it out of it. And kind of like Carlos said earlier, we are who we are, And by the way, me personally, whether it's England or Scotland or wherever, I love your accent, dude. I do.
Well, thank you so much.
And I'm bilingual. I speak English and hillbilly, so I'm pretty handy skill to have in this part of the country. Oh, and I'm kind of anything else you'd like to share with us? I'm kind of running out of time. I got one more line to get to. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, just to assure you, I am going to hillbilly classes, so.
And you'll be great at it too, man. Anyway, thank you so much for what you're doing, not only for these folks, but for anybody that crosses your path. And
thanks, Owen.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call, and thank you for sharing your story with us so much.
Absolutely. I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Good morning. You're on Edgewise.
Hey, good morning, brother.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing today?
We are doing good.
Good. I'll tell you what, I want to commend that young lady and her father for what they're doing, and I stand behind them 100%. Growing up through the 50s and the 60s and going through the wars and stuff that I've gone through, but I ain't going to get into that. But the thing that I'm going to say is I'm going to ask you, Steve, to give them my phone number and my name, and to have them, if they would, call me, and I would be more than proud to stand by them, stand with them, and because this is something that I am very, very, very committed with. I was up to the suicide prevention and stuff like that last weekend, but if they need help, any help, or anybody to stand up and talk about stuff like that, in the 72 years that I've gone through this world, I've seen it all, and I can help them. I've seen the bullies. I've seen the others, and with grandkids and 2 daughters of my own, and I appreciate it if you would give them my phone number and my name or whatever, and have them call me, and I will be there, and you can take that to the grave.
You are a good man, Charlie Brown.
Hey, thank you, brother.
You are a good man.
Okay, you take care, and Semper Fi, my brother.
All right. Thanks, Marine. Semper Fi to you too, friend. Tell folks about your website, the Facebook page, because people say it's one of the quickest hours in radio, and I swear it is. It's still got 60 minutes in it, but it goes by fast when you have great guests, which you guys were today.
You guys can reach us on Facebook at Emma's Dilemma. We also have Instagram at We Are Emma's Dilemma. Our website, if I can get this thing to pop up here, it is...
It's bookmarked. It's kind of like everybody's phone number I have. It's bookmarked on the phone and don't actually know it right off the top of my head.
Let's see, right here. Okay, it's our website is mdilem.wixsite.com/Emma's Dilemma. If you didn't catch that, it's EMDILEM, mdilem.wixsite.com /Emma's Dilemma. You can check us out there, guys.
So you're making up words. And if you want to find us and if you want it to be easy, go to our Facebook page. Posted a link there with the fact that we're going to be on the show this morning. That will stay up after the show. Just click on the link. We'll take you right to the website.
Awesome.
How about that? How about that? Cash you outside in a minute. Anyway. I actually wore a shirt, Johnny Cash shirt, says cash on it, and I wrote a thing that said me outside. Somebody took a picture of it. I mean, come on. Wow. Talk about somebody that needs help. Anyway, thank you so much. God bless you for what you do. Anonymous donor, we will hook up with you here shortly. Thank you for financially supporting these folks. Mr. Perry, thank you for your call. Thank everybody. Owen, thank you. Barry, thanks for getting the ball rolling just by pointing them in the right direction, a place to go perform. It all works together for the common good and for the common great message they have. Bullying does not have to happen. If you're a bully, there are ways that you can change your behavior. And if you're being bullied, you can understand that it ain't your fault. It ain't true. These people are not going to follow you around after you graduate and pay your bills. They're not going to give you jobs. They're not going to help you take care of your family. This is in the moment. This is situational. But sometimes it really hits people hard. And hopefully with what you guys are going to do, it's going to soften the blow. And at the end of the day, let's face it, what you're doing might save some lives.
I hope it does.
It really truly does. Thank you so much. Again, hit us up on Facebook to go to their website, all the other information. Carlos and Emma
Love you guys.
Sanchez, thank you so much. Thanks and God bless. I'm out. I will see you guys with my super sidekick, Super Dave, in the morning at 6 a.m. Here's Emma and Carlos now to take us out.
Here we are, scars on our arms, tears in our eyes. I'm getting weak, it's hard to think. I've become so numb. I'm not smiling, I am crying. I am broken and unfixed. The pain beats me, the darkness reigns.
I'm running out of time, can't get through the night. Tired of crying and tired of trying. I can't deny the fatal flaws I feel inside.
I'm not smiling, I am crying. I am broken and unfixed. The pain beats me, the darkness reaches me. I don't wanna go home right now. I'm stuck in this worn down town. No voices are speaking. The violence keeps increasing.
Maybe I can slip away, watch the fire fade to gray. There's nothing you can do to make me stay.
I'm